Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started.
Under Triple H's creative leadership, WWE is pushing towards WrestleMania 41. After the recent SmackDown, the company announced another major match for the Showcase of the Immortals. Now, Roman Reigns will lock horns against Seth Rollins and CM Punk in a triple threat bout on the show. However, Triple H might bring back a ghost from Reigns' past in the form of The Rock to teach the original tribal chief a lesson at the shows of shows. The final boss is currently absent from the Stamford-based promotion and last appeared at Elimination Chamber 2025. Since then, he has not been incorporated into the storyline of John Cena and Cody Rhodes. However, at WrestleMania 41, the game could bring back the People's Champion, but this time in the story of the OTC. The Hollywood star could make his return and distract Roman during his triple threat match. The distraction from the final boss might allow Seth Rollins or CM Punk to capitalize and emerge as the victor. Further, the inclusion of the final boss in the Roman Reigns storyline will allow Triple H to set up Reigns vs. The Rock for WrestleMania 42. Over the past few years, fans have anticipating a showdown between the cousins, but it has yet to materialize. With this potential angle at WrestleMania, the Chief Content Officer will finally have the chance to set the stage for next year's Mania by teasing a showdown between them. It's crucial to note that this entire storyline is speculative and no concrete report or source is stating the involvement of The Rock in the Roman Reigns storyline at WrestleMania. However, considering that WrestleMania produces surprises and unexpected turns every year, the above scenario has a chance to unfold. Triple H might book Roman Reigns and The Rock in a tag team match in 2025, according to a WWE legend. During the recent episode of Busted Open Radio, WWE legend Bully Ray stated that he believes Triple H might book Reigns and Rock again in a tag team match in 2025. As per the veteran, if John Cena wins his 17th World Championship at the grandest stage of them all, then one of the matches he wants to see is Roman and Cody Rhodes vs. Cena and The Rock. Bully Ray also opined that it could be a match for SummerSlam 2025. SummerSlam is one of the company's big four events, and booking this tag team match would surely get more eyeballs on the product in the summer. Chapter 1: The Breaking Point. Roman Reigns sat at the head of the table in the Bloodline's private locker room, his fingers tapping against the polished wood. His cousins, Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso, stood at his side, listening as Reigns vented his frustrations. Ever since losing the undisputed WWE Universal Championship, cracks had begun to form in his empire. Triple H had made it clear this was a new era, and Roman's control over SmackDown was slipping. No more favoritism, no more special treatment. Reigns snarled. Triple H thinks he can control me? He forgets who I am. Solo, ever silent, nodded in agreement. Jimmy, however, seemed uneasy. Yeah, but we gotta be careful. Hunter's got tricks, man. Roman smirked. Let him try. Chapter 2: The Game's Masterstroke. Triple H had been patient, watching Roman's reign of intimidation. But enough was enough. If Roman refused to change, Hunter would force him to. Sitting in his office, Triple H made a call. It's time. I need him back. A deep voice on the other end responded, You sure about this? You know how it ended last time. Triple H smirked. That's exactly why I'm doing it. Roman needs to be reminded of who he once was. The next episode of SmackDown was hyped as The Reckoning, and no one, not even Roman, knew what was coming. Chapter 3: The Haunting Begins. The night started like any other. The Bloodline stood in the ring, Roman exuding arrogance as he demanded that SmackDown acknowledge him. But before he could continue, the arena lights flickered. The Titantron cut to black, and a familiar, distorted voice echoed throughout the stadium. Run. The crowd erupted as eerie, glitching visuals filled the screen. Roman's face twisted in confusion, then rage. He recognized that voice. He recognized those words. Jimmy looked nervous. Yus, no way. Solo remained stone-faced, but Roman? He looked unsettled. Then, the music hit. Sierra. Hotel. India. Echo. Lima. Delta. Shield. The entire arena lost their minds. The echoes of the Shield's classic entrance theme blared through the speakers, but no one emerged. Roman's breathing quickened. This isn't funny, he growled into the mic. The camera cut backstage. A black-clad figure, hidden in the shadows, was shown walking down the corridor, the camera never quite revealing his face. Suddenly, the lights cut out completely. When they returned, a man stood at the top of the ramp. Seth Rollins. But it wasn't the flamboyant, cackling visionary Seth. No. He wore his old Shield gear, complete with the tactical vest, his eyes locked on Roman with a deadly intensity. The past had come knocking. Chapter 4, A Ghost Returns. Roman's grip on his title tightened, but before he could say anything, Seth spoke. Surprised, Tribal Chief? Seth smirked, but there was no humor behind it. Looks like you forgot where you came from. Thought it was time for a reminder. Roman recovered quickly, laughing. What is this, huh? A nostalgia act? You think wearing that vest is gonna scare me? Seth took a step forward. Oh, I'm not the one you should be worried about. The lights flickered again. Then, the crowd erupted. Through the audience, walking with a purpose, dressed in all black, came Dean Ambrose. Or rather, Jon Moxley. The arena exploded. This wasn't just a return. This was a statement. Roman's jaw clenched. He took a step back, something he never did. Moxley slid into the ring, standing shoulder to shoulder with Seth. He raised a mic. Long time, no see, brother. Chapter 5, Judgment Day. For the first time in years, Roman looked rattled. He had spent years rewriting history, burying his Shield days, erasing any sign of weakness. Now, the two men who had shaped him the most stood in front of him, forcing him to confront his past. Seth spoke first. Remember this, Roman? Before the gold, before the bloodline, before your god mode, this is who you were. You didn't do it alone. Moxley stepped forward. You were our brother. But you let power corrupt you. Roman's face twisted in anger. I don't need either of you. I've surpassed the Shield. I built something bigger, stronger. Moxley smirked. Oh yeah? Then why do you look so scared? Solo suddenly lunged at Moxley, but the former lunatic fringe was ready, dodging and planting Solo with a dirty deeds. Seth pounced on Jimmy, hitting a curb stomp that sent him rolling out of the ring. Roman was alone. He raised his fists, ready to fight. But Moxley and Seth just stared. Triple H's voice suddenly came through the speakers. Roman, your ego blinded you. You thought you could control everything. But you forgot one thing, the past never stays buried. Roman turned, rage burning in his eyes. This isn't over. Moxley and Seth exchanged a glance before stepping back, their message delivered. As the show went off the air, Roman stood in the ring, alone, shaken for the first time in years. Epilogue, the war has just begun. Backstage, Triple H watched the monitor, a smirk playing on his lips. Lesson 1, Roman, never forget where you came from. Roman wasn't done. He would fight back. But now, he knew, no matter how much he tried to erase the past, it always comes back. Triple H makes huge Roman Reigns announcement after WWE SmackDown, involves Seth Rollins and CM Punk too. Chief Content Officer of WWE Triple H has made a massive announcement regarding Roman Reigns. This comes soon after Friday Night SmackDown in Bologna, Italy. For some time now, Roman Reigns has found himself at odds with CM Punk and Seth Rollins. All three men were willing to do whatever it took to win the Royal Rumble this year, but unfortunately, that didn't work out for either of them. Instead, all three superstars were eliminated. Punk threw Reigns and Rollins out, while he got thrown out by Logan Paul moments later. After that, all hell broke loose, with Rollins trying to injure Reigns with horrifying curb stomps on the floor and steel steps and brawling with Punk at ringside during the PLE. Reigns returned after a brief hiatus and attacked both stars during their grudge steel cage match on a recent edition of Monday Night Raw. On SmackDown last night, the three stars ended up in another brawl that security had to get involved in. Triple H has now announced that Roman Reigns will be facing CM Punk and Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 41. The match that was rumored for months has finally been made official. All three of these men have dominated our industry. They have had historic reigns as WWE champion, and they all cannot wait to beat the other on the grandest stage of them all. Rollins. Reigns. Punk. #WrestleMania, wrote Triple H. Fans will have to wait to see what Triple H has in store for them and if there are any twists waiting on the road to WrestleMania. WWE SmackDown had just gone off the air, and the WWE Universe was still buzzing from an electrifying main event. The tension in the arena was thick as fans remained in their seats, sensing that something big was about to happen. The Blue Brand had just delivered another chaotic night, but the biggest moment was yet to come. As the commentators signed off and the production crew started wrapping up, the familiar sound of the Game by Motorhead blared throughout the arena. The crowd erupted into cheers as Triple H, the WWE Chief Content Officer, made his way down to the ring with a serious look on his face. Dressed in his signature suit, he carried the weight of a major announcement, one that would change WWE's landscape. The uncertainty surrounding Roman Reigns. For months, speculation had been running wild about Roman Reigns' future in WWE. Ever since he lost the undisputed WWE Universal Championship at SummerSlam, the Tribal Chief had been absent from television, leaving Paul Heyman, Solo Sikoa, and Jimmy Uso to steer the bloodline. Rumors swirled. Was he injured? Was he renegotiating his contract? Had WWE lost control of their biggest star? With no official word from Reigns himself, fans were left in the dark. Solo Sikoa had seemingly taken control of the bloodline, even bringing in new allies like Jacob Fatu. Meanwhile, Jimmy Uso was struggling to find his place, and Paul Heyman appeared increasingly nervous about the group's direction. The absence of their once dominant leader had created a power vacuum, one that was quickly spiraling out of control. Triple H takes center stage. Standing in the ring, microphone in hand, Triple H let the anticipation build as the WWE Universe chanted, "We want Roman," over and over again. He took a deep breath, adjusted his tie, and then spoke. "I know you've all been wondering about Roman Reigns. I know you've all had questions about where he's been, what's next for him, and if we're ever going to see the Tribal Chief again." The crowd erupted again, their excitement mixed with nervous energy. Was this going to be a retirement announcement? A shocking return? Roman Reigns has dominated WWE for over 3 years. He carried this company through uncertain times, sold out arenas worldwide, and cemented himself as one of the greatest champions in history. But after losing his championship at SummerSlam, he took a step back, and quite frankly, he deserved that time off. Triple H's words resonated with the crowd. Love him or hate him, Reigns had been a defining force in WWE for years. But here's the thing, when you're the Tribal Chief, when you are Roman Reigns, you don't just walk away. You don't fade into the background. Roman Reigns is WWE. And I can officially confirm that, he is coming back. The arena exploded with deafening cheers, mixed with a few boos from those still bitter about Reigns' past dominance. Not only is he coming back, but he's coming back with a purpose. At WWE Crown Jewel, Roman Reigns will return to SmackDown to address the bloodline, the WWE Universe, and his future. The announcement shook the WWE Universe to its core. Crown Jewel was just around the corner, and with the bloodline in chaos, Reigns' return promised to be explosive. But Triple H wasn't done. Now, I know there's another question on everyone's mind. When will Roman Reigns get his rematch for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship? The energy in the building shifted. Reigns had lost to Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam, but he had never invoked his rematch clause. With Seth Rollins still holding the World Heavyweight Championship on Raw, and Damian Priest carrying the Money in the Bank briefcase, the championship picture was murkier than ever. I'm not going to give away all the details tonight, but let's just say that at Survivor Series, things are about to get very interesting. The Bloodline reacts backstage. As Triple H wrapped up his announcement and exited the ring, cameras cut backstage to Paul Heyman, Solo Sikoa, and Jimmy Uso watching on a monitor. Heyman's face was pale, his eyes darting nervously between Solo and Jimmy. The special counsel had been trying to maintain control, but with Roman's return on the horizon, his entire position was now uncertain. Solo, on the other hand, didn't flinch. He simply nodded, his stoic expression unreadable. Since Roman's absence, he had been asserting himself as the enforcer of the bloodline, even making decisions without consulting Heyman. Was he ready to step aside now that his older cousin was returning? Jimmy, however, looked the most rattled. After betraying Jay at SummerSlam and trying to earn his place back in the family, he had struggled to gain Solo's trust. Now, with Roman coming back, his position in the bloodline seemed more fragile than ever. "Wise man," Solo finally said, his deep voice cutting through the tense silence. "What do we do now?" Heyman gulped, wiping his forehead. "We prepare, Solo. We prepare for the tribal chief's return, and we pray that he's in a forgiving mood." The fallout. With Reigns' return set for Crown Jewel and the cryptic tease for Survivor Series, WWE was entering a new era of uncertainty. Would Roman reclaim his position as the head of the table? Would Solo Sikoa step aside, or had he become too powerful? Would Jimmy Uso survive the consequences of his actions? And most importantly, would Roman Reigns target Cody Rhodes for the championship he once held? The WWE Universe had their answers, but even bigger questions now loomed over SmackDown. With Triple H making it official, the countdown to Roman Reigns' return had begun. And when the tribal chief came back, nothing would ever be the same again.